Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to each of you, congratulations on your nominations. As you can tell, we're a very busy committee here, and this will not be the last time you all hear from us. And we look forward to working with you to make certain that our men and women in uniform have what they need to carry out their mission. And you've heard about ethics, you've heard about what we need for our housing for the military, about acquisitions. I know that Senator Inhofe even talked a little bit about Facebook and big tech and some of those applications. I'm going to turn now to a topic you're going to hear me talk about a lot, and it is about maintenance and deferred maintenance. And Mr. Owens, I'm going to come to you on this because we've got 550,000 buildings that we have a backlog. There is a goal of getting to 90% on this, but the current estimate, I think, last time I looked, it was at $121 billion in the FSRM. Does that sound right to you?
Senator Blackburn, the briefing paper that I read on FSRM had that number in it, and it didn't sound right to me. I've come to learn that it's right. It's a big number. It is right.
And DOD has over 550,000 buildings and facilities worldwide. And as my dad would always say, if you build it, you have to maintain it. And it seems as if we are getting to the point that deferred maintenance in that backlog is way out of control. So I want to bring this home to you with an example in Tennessee. And I'm going to ask you to visit this facility with me. It is an Air Force base. It is Arnold Engineering and Development Center. And it is located there in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Those of you involved with DOD have probably heard about this. We've got great Tennesseans that work there. They are leading the way on testing some of our mission-critical engine and hypersonic testing. It is going to be imperative for the growth of our Air Force and for Space Force. And they are doing this research work in buildings that are crumbling around them. And the deferred maintenance it keeps getting pushed off. And I do give the Air Force Secretary credit for having pushed forward to try to get resources there. This is part of our critical infrastructure future and needs to be addressed. So how are you going to begin addressing that backlog? Because you just said you saw that figure and you thought this can't be right, but it is. So how do you begin to reshape that, whittle down, prioritize it?
Senator, I want to thank you for bringing this issue to the forefront and being so stalwart in your focus on it. In my view, the DOD has to balance their mission requirements and their sustainment requirements. And I think one of the things that is critical to understand is that the health and well-being of the warfighter is directly connected to the built environment and the physical environment that they inhabit. So one of the things that I'd like to do is try to highlight the connection between the fact that the people who are in these buildings are being affected by them if they are not.
There are human capital infrastructure, and they're a very vital and necessary component. So what kind of analysis, what kind of partnerships, what kind of approach do you plan to bring to this? You've obviously given some forethought to this.
Yes, and I think that the prioritization exercises that are necessary to ensure that we are putting the money in the places where it's going to have the maximum benefit to support the mission and then the health and well-being of the military and military service family members is going to be a priority for the ASD-EI&E, working across in collaboration with all of the other EI&E positions for the services.
Okay. I also want to ask you about climate change, because that DOD is saying this is a they've identified climate change as a critical national security issue, a threat multiplier, a top management challenge, but we've never seen data that would support that. So how do you, I'm running out of time and we're over. Let's do this. Why don't you submit that answer for the record? And then Dr. Plum, I've got a question I will submit to you. Ms. Harris, I do have a question specific to you that I will submit. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator Blackburn. Senator Peters, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And